All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
The brothers from the Indianapolis camp of the Great Millstone. I'd like to start off by saying, all praises and glory and honor be unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. All right, that's all praises to the Heavenly Father. His true name is Yahweh. In the name of His only begotten Son, His true name is Yahweh Shai. In the name of the Holy Spirit, the Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who taught us knowledge. And salutations to you fellow laborers out there doing the work in truth and in sincerity, especially during these times. Shalom to the Fiakwap that believe as well. All right, hearty shalom and salutations to you other laborers and believers scattered throughout the face of the earth, whether you be among the heathen and even like the heathen who are the speckled bird Israelites, to the household of faith, which is the elect. I'm going to say shalom to you. All right, as you can see, I want to say fair use, fair use. Of course, my videos are not monetized. We don't receive any compensation off our videos, only for literary commentary and educational purposes. And with that being said, fair use, fair use. Under 1976, Section 107 Fair Use Act. So this is courtesy of Redacted. It says America is just days away from famine, and we aren't prepared. So I'm gonna let this rock out and give you a gist of what's going on. And the Lord willing, we got some precepts, and the Lord willing is edifying to the hopefully elect. Without any further ado, let's roll the clip.
Well, this story is shocking. It's gotten almost no coverage at all, kept from the headlines, of course, thanks to powerful people, and specifically it has to do with America's food supply. What is the truth about America's food supply? And what is the biggest threat to our entire supply? Might not be any kind of shortage, but the people who actually control it. The big agricultural companies, the consolidation of power into a few big producers. And the history of America's beef industry, of course, filled with allegations of mob connections, squeezing out some of the smaller producers, trying to roll them into the bigger producers, bribery, corruption, selling diseased meat, even meat reportedly so disgusting it made grown men vomit while they were having to put it together, serving it then to schools and prisons. I mean, you don't even have to go back to Upton Sinclair and the turn of the century to learn about this or study this, having pigs dragged through the streets of Chicago. We all remember that from our high school reading of The Jungle. It's happening right now, with new accounts claiming diseased meat simply blended together with other products, ultimately sold to U.S. schools, prisons, even the U.S. military. That's how much we love our military, serving them diseased meat. So how the hell did we get here? And can you actually trust the meat that you're feeding your family if you walk into any typical grocery store? Where is it coming from? Joining me now is A.J. Richards. He comes.
All right, so yeah, as you can see, you know, we're getting ready to experience a famine. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to be a famine just in one part of the earth, but it's going to be a famine, globally. As the Lord Himself said that we're going to see these things, right? Let me get that in Matthew 24:7, right? And it reads, I'll start at 3. And as He sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto Him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So they wanted to know, when the Lord was going to come back, and He gave signs. Excuse me. He gave signs on His return. Bear me 1 second. I don't know why I do that, but this is verse 7, going right to the point. It says, I start at 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And we see these things happening as far as these wars and rumors of wars going on, because why? They're part of the signs of our Lord's, second coming, as well. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and we're watching that. That's why the wars are going on, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. All right. Famine, right? What the word famine goes into. Look up the word famine on the etymology dictionary, right? The word famine. It says famine starvation. All right, hunger, starvation, famine. All right, to cause to hunger, famish from the word famish, right? To bring to hunger, same thing. Okay, so there you go, man. You're gonna have a lot of people out here hungry, not being able to have food. All right, once all hell break loose, man, hey, this food is gonna be very scarce to find. You know, it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences." You got the different diseases out here that's being reported in the news. You know, newly, being psychosporiasis, antivirus, all that shit, right? It says in earthquakes. Well, they just had one in Colombia, okay, in other parts of the world. All right. It says in different places, right? It says, verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows, and we're seeing the sorrows come up on people because as is reported here in Babylon, which is America, that the homelessness has gone up, all right, into what? Almost 50-some million people are homeless or can't find food, each day, from day to day. That's America for you, man. This is the, this is the greatest kingdom on earth right now, and they can't even feed their own people, Show you how great that is, right?
All right, they feeding them bullshit. Shit that they is feeding them, it ain't, it's only destroying you more,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, a daily fast, hey, that wouldn't hurt at all.
Okay, you got something out?
Yeah. Ezekiel 7 and verse 14. I'll wait till you get there.
Yeah, Ezekiel 7:14.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep.
Ezekiel 7 and 14. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. And us, the prophets, hey, we tell you, we're warning you, like literally right now. All right, we warn you out there in the highways and byways. All right, that, hey, this is about to happen. All right, and if you don't get right with Yahweh Shem Shah, you're gonna get caught up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 15: the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. So see, so hey, you not right with Yahweh Shem Shah. You're not right with the Lord. You out here doing all manners of sin, wickedness.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're gonna be in the city dying of famine, and then at the same time, the Lord gonna have that pestilence get you. Whatever pestilence is out here.
Okay.
That was it on that.
Okay. I got something too, because Trump, he the one that basically sold you out as far as you beef or cattle farmers. What did he do? He made it to where he buying money, investing money into what? Buying beef elsewhere. And matter of fact, I pulled some up on that too. Just refresh your memory. Okay. It says Trump buys beef, right? From other countries. It says in February 2026, President Donald Trump signed an executive order, and that's him directly. An executive order is him overriding, the vote from Congress. Excuse me. It says signed an executive order and presidential proclamation to temporarily increase U.S. beef imports from Argentina by 80,000 metric tons tariff free. And we know who runs, Argentina, them damn Amalekites. It says the policy targets lean beef trimmings used for ground beef to lower record high consumer prices, but it has drawn strong pushback from domestic cattle ranchers. Right, so they basically starve you ranchers or cattle ranchers here in America out. They squeezing you out, literally.
Yeah.
And there's been many complaints about that, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tap into this video right here. Fair use, fair use. Let's look on this video right here. See what pops up. Oh, fair use, fair use. Let me pull up a little bit. All right, you want to play? Play. Oh, it's not playing Slocky.
He just signed an
Bear me 1 second.
executive order to quadruple beef imports from Argentina. Jeff Flock, he's not in Argentina, he's in Philadelphia this morning. And Jeff, is that going to bring down beef prices?
Depends on what kind of beef you want, Ashley. I'm standing here in front of maybe something that looks familiar to you. It's not going to bring prices down on this. Let's say a standing prime rib, correct? Yeah, standing prime rib. Maybe you've seen tomahawk steaks. That's what that comes from. That's not what's coming in from Argentina. It's going to be the ground stuff, ground beef. And I'm with a legendary Philadelphia butcher, third generation, Dominic Creamy of Capuccio's. Is this going to bring prices down overall?
I think in the short run, it's going to bring prices down a little bit. Anytime you add imports to the local economy, it's going to bring prices down a little bit.
Yeah, take a look at the
That
numbers.
makes no sense because that's extra money. It costs money to import things from outside the country. I mean, the tariffs free still a tax on it. Tariffs are just extra additive taxes on it. You know what I mean? You know, like the tariff situation between China and America. You know, basically we're not putting an extra imposed tax on you. You know, we're going to sell it at, at regular price, wholesale price, basically. You know, but still, he said the short run. What about the long term? How can you have a sustained, lifestyle as a cattle rancher in America? Because not buying your beef is not helping you. You're in it to sell your product. So it makes no sense if you're buying other product outside of the country. So how can it? So basically, what this dude's saying is a lie. You know, because how does buying beef from other countries benefit the American farmer? It doesn't. It fucking doesn't. They got their own cattle. They got their own way of grounding beef, it's been lasting this long. It worked for this long, right?
It's supposed to.
Why not buy from other? Why not do that among each other? Other cattle farmers that have extra whatever they're gonna do to make their ground beef. It just don't make no sense. Okay, and this is a dude. Esau is a double-tongued man. You know.
Numbers, Ashley, put them up if you would. It's a fair bit of beef coming in. 80,000 tons. That's about $800 million worth of exports.
$800 million that can go into the American cattle farmer's pocket. That's almost $1 billion given out to another country. That's benefiting their country, Argentina. It's not benefiting you American cattle farmers again. All right, let's go from there. I got a precept. Let me bring this out real quick. I'll come back to this one, but let's go to Ecclesiastes 10 and 16. It says, I'm going to read the AMP, Ecclesiastes 10 and 16. Woe to you, O land, when your king is a child, and when your incompetent officials and princes feast in the morning. Right. And the king of Babylon, all right, the cruel lord of Babylon, which is Nero Trump at the moment, he is very incompetent. Very incompetent. What does the word incompetent mean? Let's Google it. Let's web search this incompetent. Incompetent means lacking the qualities, skills, ability, or legal qualifications needed to do something or to handle a task properly. Yeah, and that's Nero Trump all day. Okay? It says that the Lord will set a cruel Lord over the what? The Egyptians. All right? And he's being very cruel to even his own people. His own farmers. But we know the scripture said what? He does evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
Okay.
So again, going back to the scriptures, Ecclesiastes 10 and 16, on the AMP, it says, woe to you, O land, when your king is a child, and when your incompetent officials and princes feast in the morning. Verse 17, blessed or prosperous and admired are you, O land, when your king is a man of noble birth, and your princes and officials feast at the proper time for strength and not for drunkenness. And we see that you don't have no people of noble stock. You got the base men, all right, ruling. Okay, the most based and vile person, all right, on this earth, which is the Edomite, ruling. Okay, and hence, look how he governed his society. All right, he governed it. You know what I'm saying? With basically with no wisdom. Okay, it says in Sirach 10. All right, when you go to Sirach 10, right? You go on the precept, brothers. You know.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something.
This is Sirach 10. Let me get this too. Sirach 10, and 1 it says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Right. It makes sense for the leader of your own country to invest in you. You know, it's like you having children, and instead of you investing in your own child, you putting money and effort and energy into others' children. Well, how that investing or how that's benefiting your own child? You're not putting that same effort, energy, and whatever into your own child. Your own child will look at you like, what the fuck wrong? You don't even treat me like that. You ain't taking care of me. You take care of other motherfucking kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing, man. How to look at it. Like you ain't ordering your own government right. Okay, your government giving out billions of dollars to Ukraine, the state of Israel. Here it is, you Americans left out. But then somehow, some way, they'll find a way to blame society's problems on the tribes. All right. Oh, it's too much immigration here. Too many illegals here. Right. See, the Israelites, we're the problem. One more verse. Verse 2. As the judge of the people, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Right. And the people in America are very dumbed down. But you have people that are, watching and preparing themselves, for, anarchy, basically. Because they see that their own government is failing them. Okay. Verse 3, an unwise king destroyed his people. And this man is proven to be unwise. But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Right. And how it's looking like it is right now, like the city, which is the city being America, is looking very, very what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a good place to live. Mm-hmm. It was at one point people was, raving about getting over here to this country. But since then, since the decline of America, a lot of people have been packing up and leaving America, going back to their own lands. Okay, the scriptures speak about that too. You got it, Otto.
It's like I'm just thinking about. I got something for you though. Mm-hmm. Isaiah 19 and verse. Start at 14. Mm-hmm. Isaiah 19 and 14, the Lord hath kindled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. See, in Babylon the Great, it can't make no right moves to keep his kingdom going. Because what? This is what Yahweh Shemel Shah want. He won't, Esau to make the wrong moves to where, but at the end of the day, this is Esau, at the end of the day, this is Esau, trying to bring in his new world order at the end of the day. Fucking up these niggas farmers, So hey, within the leaders, all right, that's why I was trying to find that precept, man. And that Proverbs, it talks about righteousness in the kingdom, something like that. It's in Proverbs.
Type in those 2 words.
I did. It wasn't popping up.
Okay.
But it's cool, But yeah, man. Hey, Babylon the Great. This place ain't going. It's not gonna last. All right, because it's a foolish king. Governing the people. Scripture speaks about the joy of a king. King is the multitude, roughly.
Yeah. I think it's only in Psalms.
Nah, that's in Proverbs. And you look at the multitude of the people. What? They're all fucked up. They're complaining. It's just no. You can't. It's not a. You're not gonna win here in Babylon the Great. Hey, here. Matter of fact. No.
Or is it maybe this one? I got a good one that came to my mind. Ecclesiastes 5:9. It says, moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. And what you have it is with Esau, he's destroying the earth. All right. And he's destroying the earth by many means. Even the things you eat, say the cattle is grass fed, right? You see this grass fed beef. Hey, the grass the cow eating, I'm sure it got that fucking pesticides they spray. You know what I'm saying? On it. Because I'm up in the morning early, and I'm riding down the street in my truck, right? I'm driving on my routes, whatever. I see the farmers got planes that spray those pesticides. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So I'm sure the cattle was eating that same pesticide. Hence, you have it where a lot of cows. You can go on YouTube and watch this shit, man. They be getting them fucking big ass bumps and boils on their fucking legs and shit. That come open and shit. Pink, white pus. Boils be so goddamn big because they infected.
I got a precept.
Yep, bring it up.
Proverbs 28:19. It's Proverbs 28:19. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that followeth after vain persons shall have poverty enough.
My screen was loading.
Oh.
Proverbs 28, what was that?
I'll read it again. 19. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that followeth after vain persons shall have poverty enough.
Oh, well, Esau don't keep the land Sabbath.
Yep.
So that's another thing,
Yeah.
You're supposed to give the land a rest, man. Excuse me, you sow on another land for 6 years and 7 years you let it rest. That's why it says what? Therefore the law is slack, right? The law is slack on all levels, including how you treat the earth itself, as far as farming or agriculture. Here it is. You wonder why the nutrition, or not necessarily that. You wonder why so many Americans are obese and sickly. The mortality rate is crazy. They got one of the top worst mortality rates in the world, man. Here it is. You're supposed to be the greatest, most powerful country on earth, but yet your health is man, you ain't even in the middle of the pack. You're not even in the middle of the pack, man. So the shit that's growing here, the crops, the vegetation, the cattle, the flocks you have here. I be seeing, sheep flocks, goat flocks as I'm driving, on these back roads on some of my routes. I'm like, damn, man, they right next to the field. They spraying the fucking pesticides on. They grazing on this land. The wind gonna carry it.
Hey, this nigga gotta fuck up. Hey, you gotta fuck up everything he, in sight. You know, that's why he's going to be he's going to be eradicated from this earth. You know, no more people after he serves his 1,000 years, because that's totally just wicked. You know? Making everything hard. You know, everything in this life is hard for everything. You know, the people, the trees, you know, animals. All right, everything is just hard because what Esau, even so-called white man, you know, he in effect, it's okay.
Yep. You bring it out. I'm gonna bring this out next for you.
Proverbs 14 and verse 28. In the multitude of people is the king's honor, but in the want of people is the destruction of the prince. In fact, let's get that in NLT too. Or
NLT?
AMP.
Oh, I'm already there. Let me read it for you. You got it?
You got it.
It says, in the multitude of people is a king's glory, but in a lack of people is a pretentious prince's ruin.
And yeah, hey, what Esau? He's just slowly but surely killing niggas, you know. And it's just constant you know, niggas dying of cancer, you know, by the hundreds of thousands, you know, every year, you know. So it's not just the food, it's just every goddamn thing, you know.
Yep. Yeah, exactly, man. It says in Habakkuk 2, what? And there's death. You know? You know, so that's a heavy thing, man. Let me grab this 2nd Esdras 15 and 13 on the AMP. I mean the GNT, I'm sorry. It says the farmers will mourn because their seed will fail to sprout and their trees will be destroyed by blight, hail, and terrible storms. And you look at what's going on right now too, because in that video on Redacted, I watched most of that video. He was going in about that too. You know, he was going in about that, you know, on how, you know, the seed, you know, basically, you know, we all know the Straits of Hormuz, you know, dealing with the conflict with, you know, with the Iranians, which are formerly the Persians, against the state of Israel in America, which is Babylon the Great. You know, we know that fertilizer that most farmers of the earth depend on, which is high in nitric oxide, you know, which helps the crops grow, because that's what you need to make your crops grow strong. You know, because when you look up the benefits of nitric oxide, it's good not only for your crops but for the body. You know, the things you eat, you know, you're supposed to be good for the body. You know, but they're being choked out because why? Their own government, especially right here in Babylon, is warring with the Iranians. You know, because why? You know, Amalek got them, you know, trying to invade and regime change them and it failed. So the farmers are feeling that, you know, they feeling that effect as well from them not having that fertilizer. You know, they only, a lot of farmers don't expect the last harvest, you know, which is important, you know, for a farmer at least. The last harvest, that's something that's going to sustain you through the winter. You know, winter months, you know. And matter of fact, what's the importance of that? Can you look up importance of last harvest? Yeah. Or significance of the last harvest in farming. Because that's very important.
So you said last.
The significance of last harvest in agriculture. See what it says.
It says, depending on the exact context of your question, the last harvest carries critical significance across 3 distinct agriculture dimensions: practical farm management, ecological soil sustainability, and culture folklore. It says, in daily farming operations, the last harvest refers to the final collection of crops before winter
Yeah.
or the end of a trial cycle. Managing this window carries significant economic consequences. Quality.
Yeah. So basically, a winter is everything wither away.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can have that last harvest in to carry you throughout the winter and sustain you through the winter.
All right.
Until
I said the money.
Yeah. You sell some. It's supposed to sustain you all the way to spring, which is the new year. Beginning of the new year, which is in spring. So that's the importance of last harvest. And they're not expecting the last harvest. Many farmers, they're not expecting their last harvest to be anything because they had just enough to plant, for the first harvest and carry them maybe mid-summer, which we about there right now. All right, so let's read it again in 2 Ezra 15 and 13 on GNT. It says the farmers will mourn because their seed will fail to sprout and their trees will be destroyed with blight, hail, and terrible storms. You got all these unpredictable weather patterns that's affecting it.
All right, yeah. Yep.
Like the Midwest especially.
Tornadoes and shit.
Yeah. So the Lord is really hitting this place with plagues.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, bring it up.
Habakkuk 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And see, hey, you don't want to believe, you don't believe that this is about to happen. All right, it's cool, because hey, it's going to happen. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Just because 2027 is looking like, shit's about to really, really pop off,
Very scarce.
Yep, just the last harvest, and they, they're not expecting, to
yield.
Yep. So what? That means in 2027.
Well, it's like a good yield.
Kind of. So in 2027, it's gonna be a lack of resources. Lack of food.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
that. So this is coming. All right, famine for Babylon the Great. It's coming. All right, aka America.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah, 2 Ezra 15. All right, I start at verse 18. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Because you're going to have chaos in the cities, man. Once food is being rationed out, God sending, like you see, you look at, you Google, not Google, but YouTube, Venezuela, when they had the hyperinflation, they couldn't get food, they ate the zoo animals and all that shit. And you have reports of cannibalism and shit. That's coming to America, man. All right?
It said because of their pride too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you don't want to regard this. Guess what? Because of your pride, you gonna be troubled on a level you can't expect it or imagine it.
Okay. Verse 19: a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what's going to be coming, man, to a house near you. They're going to destroy you. They're going to look to destroy you in order to eat. Lack of bread meaning what? Lack of food. They're going to be having desperate minds, because they're in a desperate situation, and morals are out the window. It says in what? Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Okay, which goes into their psyche. The mentality that they had one to another before all hell break loose gonna go out the window. Once shit start tightening up, you being extra friendly to your neighbors down the street, let them into your house, and they know what you got and shit.
Yeah, these niggas do that shit.
Yeah, peeping your crib out. Oh, yeah, well, I know they keep food over here. They'll be looking to go in your crib, kick your door in, and wave the fofo.
Yeah. I had this one nigga, basically, long story short, he lets his neighbors have a key to his shit. He's like, wow. He's like, yeah, I trust my neighbors that much. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna eat them words, in these days to come.
Yep. Gonna be through. Because the Lord ain't fucking around, man. You know, shit, we're hoping to make it, man. You know, we're hoping that, you know, our works and labor of love, you know, will be remembered in that day. And the Lord will have mercy on us when He bring forth His wrath on this place. You know, that's where we're hoping, you know. That's our faith, man. You know, so, hey, man. You know, you've been warned, you know. With that, you know, Lord willing, you've been edified. Again, we're going to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Again, double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who taught us knowledge. Hey, peace and blessings to the hopefully electors out there, man. Hey, may Yahweh Bahashem Shah be with you. And Lord willing, is edifying. To the next video, I want to say Shalom. And the Bible Ball. All right, Kwame Shalom.